Hello, good evening. Thank you for joining me. My name is Dennis and welcome to my art channel. Today we're going to be doing some abstract watercoloring, a bit of a theme for these videos, but it's just what I love to do right now. I am trying to push myself a little bit in this video and in this painting. I'm trying to keep it a bit on the colorful side, if you will, and I'm trying to make it more of a color field type painting where every square inch of the painting is covered in colors and the mixture becomes a overwhelming kind of experience. Not entirely sure if that comes out in this painting or in this video. I think that's for you, the viewer, to decide. But nevertheless, this is a fun process, going in with a big old wash brush, trying to get big blotches of color all across the paper, not focusing on any one area in particular, but obviously wherever I start the stroke is where the most pigment will drop, and thus the composition begins to develop. I've got a few areas, a few bright areas of red and a really bright yellow in the very center, and kind of like a wrap around the outside. Going right in with a smaller brush now, I'm picking up a bit of blue, something that will contrast well with the warmer colors that I put down to start out with the wash. The blue will make any of my new strokes pop out a bit more and not just mix into the background of the wash. Also going in with a darker color. I think this is the let me take a look out. I'm cheating looking at the little cheat sheet that I have literally on the video. I got this is the sepia. Yes. I'm always forgetting which neutral is which. I just kind of look at the tin. I'm like, yep, that feels right, and I grab it. I don't think too much about what they're called in the moment, but you know, now that we're on video, we gotta try to recall these things, run it back, how this thing developed. I guess the individual pigments don't necessarily matter, but nonetheless, it is a palette of colors, and their unique combination is what makes this painting work. Obviously, with how wet the page is at this point, it does take quite a bit of pigment in order to actually make a mark now. So picking up a bit of yellow and filling up that spot, you see the red just flood the area once it's been inserted, the fresh pickup. Whereas doing a bit of a lighter stroke with the orange there, it kind of faded a little more. You can't see it quite as well, but it does provide a bit of a contrast over that cadmium yellow. That's very bright yellow. And as I'm kind of flicking this kind of paint back and forth across the page, you can see the streaks and lines sort of develop into little shapes. Up to interpretation what these shapes would be. I'm personally thinking of a trip I've got coming up and thinking very much about colors and trees and all sorts of bright things right now. So maybe those are more natural kind of things going on. But once again, I am trying to keep this as not so much what I've been doing in some of my past paintings, where they're very, I don't want to say noodly, but that would be kind of the most like critical word that I could think of for, where I'm doing a lot of smaller strokes and they're combining into something larger, and a lot of those individual strokes are still noticeable. So I feel like some areas end up being a bit noodly, a bit like a bowl of pasta. And I feel like that's for better or for worse. It's a aesthetic kind of a thing. I feel like my hand naturally goes into some sort of figure 8 type shapes when I'm messing around. So curling it around ends up feeling like it's some spaghetti. I'm trying to stay away from that in this painting, so I'm trying to have some more hard kind of blocks of color, and the mixes, the areas where they kind of connect and intermix are where I'm having a bit more of that kind of linear patterning going. I'm not necessarily painting like vines or anything like that, but I am hoping to allude a little bit to something of that sort sometimes. Here I'm really just focusing on the color. So what do you think? What is your favorite color so far in this here painting? Especially now that I'm going in with some blues, it mixes nicely into some greens with the yellow and some violets with the red. Really going in with all of the colors on this painting, and I wonder if it works. I feel like there's something a bit ethereal about, especially like the upper right area, that lightish pink into the yellow, turns into like an orange and has like a backdrop of like a teal or a blue, maybe some emerald kind of shining through, that kind of a feeling. Some chaos emerald type energies going on over there. Yeah, I feel like, I mean, no matter what the subject or feeling this painting might end up having, whatever interpretation it might have, I feel like personally, I feel like I put a lot of life into this one, and I do hope that it'll stand as something that'll sort of live on its own, be up to further kind of interpretation and discussion in the future. It's a lot to ask of a piece of paper with a bunch of colors on it, but I'm a bit of an optimist. I like to think that things are in the right way, or going in the right direction. This finished painting, well, it's still got a bit of drying to do, but here's some little close-ups. You can see how the color goes in and out, a little bit of undulation, a little bit of depth. Thank you for watching though. Take care. Have a great weekend. Peace.